Hi, so sorry for the we had a little network issue, but we're back now. Um, Back to what we are saying. Um, we want to know if parents can still raise responsible children in this society. What is the possibility that parents can still raise responsible children in this society? Is it even possible? Well, like I said, in my opinion, I believe that as long as we still have responsible people in today's society, we will definitely raise responsible children. No matter how tough the society is, no matter how corrupt it is, I so much believe that we will still have people who will take over us when we are gone. I don't believe I don't believe that after this generation the next generation will be nothing to write home about. I don't believe that. Yes, I don't. I so much believe that as long as, except we don't have responsible people again, except we don't have responsible adults again, except we don't have people that are disciplined, except we don't have them again. But as long as we have them, I strongly 100% sure that we can still raise responsible children, no matter how difficult it is. I'm not saying it is going to be easy. Yes, I know it is not going to be easy, but we will still have them. This this world cannot just spoil like that now, just because of one or two persons are not responsible. No. Okay. All right. We have our guest already. Okay. I'm so happy that I'm getting positive response. There are many I know that tomorrow they will raise responsible children. We are still on the same page. I'm so happy that I have people who have the same mindset with me. That is really nice. At least there is hope that um we still have responsible adults tomorrow. All right. Okay. I guess we have our guest today. So we asked him some questions that we really want him to give us response to. Okay. In case you are not able to join the live session now, you can as well watch the video later. It is always there for you to watch, learn. Not just learning, put it into practice. Whatever we are putting out there, it is still for our own good. It's still for our own benefits. Yes. So when you watch, don't just watch for watching sake. Try to implement it. At least let's know that we have people who are not just listening to us, but who are also doing the hard work. At least it will give us the courage to do more. Okay. So we are welcoming our guests. Um I don't know. I don't just know why our network is misbehaving today. I don't know. I don't know why our network is misbehaving today, but whatever, whichever way, we still move on. Um, please, can you introduce yourself to us? Let's know you.
Yeah, thank you. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Chidera. What else do you want to know about me?
Okay, okay. Mr. Chidera, are you married?
Yes, I am. I am married.
Okay. Do you have kids?
Not yet.
Mm. All right, that is lovely. Thank you for making our time to join this live session. It is an honor to have you here. Our
I'm glad
topic
to be here.
today,
Thank you very much.
our topic today is raising kids, raising responsible kids in today's society. Considering how bad our society is, considering the social media influence, considering everything that is happening around us. When I mean everything, mostly the negative ones, because these days we don't have much positive things happening. I think that's why our children are not learning much of the positive ones. So considering um, things happening in our society today, do you think that we parents can still raise responsible children? Do you think parents can still raise children with good values?
Well, yes, I think so. This issue of raising responsible children in this society is a very serious one, and I think can never be overemphasized, right?
Okay.
You made mention of social media. That's not only the aspect or one an aspect that is actually taking our children from being responsible, or the children of these days from being responsible. Why?
Okay.
Because I think raising responsible children has to start with the parents, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel you cannot actually give what you don't have. If you are a parent and you are responsible, there's every high tendency that you raise a responsible child, right? Okay, when a child is born, like from 0, 1 year, 2 years, as a child is growing up, that child doesn't have a phone yet. That child doesn't know what social media is all about, right? But then
Yes.
the child is watching you, right? Children most times or sometimes don't really do what they are told. They do what they see, especially at a very tender age. Whenever they are watching you, there are a whole lot of things going on social media where you see news of fathers beating their wives and a whole lot of other nasty examples, right? But if a
Okay.
child growing up, even a child doesn't need social media to learn some of those bad attitudes or those irresponsible attitudes. For instance, if you give birth to a child and the child is growing up very young and seeing the father beating the mother, you don't need to teach the child that it is wrong. Being a male child, you don't need to teach the child that it is wrong for him to beat his wife when he grows up and
Okay.
gets married. He has already seen it. He has already seen his father do it. He has grown up seeing his father do it. This is just one of the instances. There are a whole lot of many other instances. What I'm trying to say in essence is that for us to raise responsible children, we need to be models to those children. We need to be first responsible parents, right? So knowing
Yeah.
fully well that whatever you do at home, however you talk to your husband, however you talk to people, if you lie, if you steal, if whatever you do, they are watching. Sometimes we
Okay.
think these kids are very small and they don't know anything. You know, they just hear what we tell them and go by whatever we tell them. Most times it doesn't work that way, in the sense that these children are actually very smart, especially when they have come of age. Like what I mean by come of age is when they've reached the age of reasoning. As they are growing up and as they are watching you, you think they are just there. You know, they don't know what you are doing, but as they are watching, they are learning. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is this: it's very all right to talk about raising responsible kids. It's very wonderful. It's very amazing. But then we should do that as parents. We should be responsible as parents first, knowing fully that our children are always watching.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful answer. What you are saying is it is not just about talking to the child, right?
Exactly. That's
It's
the
about
summary
what you
of everything I've
display.
just said. Yeah, I'm not saying talking to the child is not good. It is actually okay to talk to your child, right? But then
Okay.
to learn more with what I mean by that is when you do those things, it becomes easier for you to raise responsible kids. When you behave the way you want your child to behave, if you want your child to behave in a responsible way, when you are first responsible, there won't be need for you to talk to the child about being responsible because the child is already seeing it. Not saying that parents should not talk, but then when you are doing it, your child is seeing it. Your child is seeing that you're truthful. Your child is seeing that you are respectful to your husband. Your child is seeing that you care for him or her. Your child is seeing your values and virtues of being responsible, and the child automatically learns.
All right. You are saying that in raising a child, it is 70% um your attitude, what you display, right? Then 30% of what you say.
Exactly, because the child is always with you, always watching. In as much as we feel they don't see certain things or they are still kids, they don't understand. They actually do understand. So mind how you act around your child. Mind the kind of values you display. Because whatever you display, they get it, they grab it. I don't know if I'm talking too much, but then there is this clip that I watched online
Okay.
about a family whereby whenever the father is at home, there were actually two clips, but I will just have to share one, right?
Okay.
Okay. A father and a mother were at home. The children are just seated down there, and the wife went to the husband. He was not doing anything, but the wife was actually very busy. And in front of the children, I asked the husband, "Please, can you help me do this?" The man harshly spoke back at the wife in front of the kids and said, "No, please, I'm very busy." He was not doing anything, and then the wife walked away. So they were just there. A few minutes later, the two children that were there, a boy and a girl, the sister asked the brother, "Please, can you help me do this?" The exact same thing the father did, he saw the father do, was the exact same thing he did to the sister. You know,
Yeah.
he gave her the same answer, right?
Yes.
So immediately the parents were there. Immediately they saw that, they had to come to them, and they felt bad about what happened. The wife started telling him, "Now you see, your child is learning from you." So they had to come down and speak to them that no, whenever your sister is asking you for help, always try to help your sister and stuff like that. So I'm trying to say that what we do, our kids are watching, right? So we should do well
Okay.
to act well, act right around them.
All right. Thank you so much for that. At what age do you think parents should start teaching their children responsibility?
Well, once to me, I would say once they get to the age of reasoning,
Age of
reasoning.
okay. And what is this age of reasoning? Like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years?
It depends on the responsibility. Once a child is able to, because age of reasoning gets from stage to stage, right? At
Okay.
0, 1, 2, a child cannot do much. You are still carrying the child, right? But when a child
Yeah.
starts crawling, a child cannot still do much when crawling. But once the child starts using toys to play, right? maybe
Yeah.
start working and start knowing how to, when they get them some of those toys, they do building blocks and the rest of them, right? You
Yeah.
can start with the smallest responsibilities of when a child starts walking and the child can actually walk to where his toys are and pick the toys and play with them. Let him know that he should be able to return those toys where he picked them from, right? That is a
Yeah.
responsibility. To show him how to tidy up things. That is a responsibility. Not that a child of a very young age, you tell the person to go and wash plates. You know the person
Yeah.
cannot do it. So as you are growing up, your child is growing, know what your child can do at any particular point in time. If it's all about playing with toys and going to drop back the toys from where he or she got it from, that is a responsibility. You can start from there. So as your child grows up, you know what they can do, and then you give them responsibility according to what they
According to
can
their
do.
age.
Yeah, according to what they can do, that kind of a thing. So these toys is a very good example. They walked to the place, took the toys, played with it, and then left it, scattered it all over the parlor or wherever they played. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you make the child know that no, when you pick it up and you play with it, after playing with it, you need to return it back, or else you lose them. There are a whole lot of things that can happen to them. You might lose them and you won't have something to play with again. Apart from losing them, you keep the house messy, which is not a good thing. So it's just you just watch the child grow. As the child is growing, the level of responsibility to give to the child as the child is growing. The only thing is just pay attention to your child.
Okay.
Then, yeah.
All right. Um, in an African home, we found out that most times parents don't talk about consequences of actions. They just talk about the action itself. They will just they don't give the child they don't get to explain to the child the actual consequences of the child's action. I don't know if I'm to say they try to shine away from having those conversations, or they don't know how to communicate it, or they don't even know the consequences of those actions. So how can parents communicate consequences of their children's action to them? Are you there?
Well, it's just to communicate, is to talk to their child with love. I am here.
Okay.
Well, I think, yeah, some parents, will I say, it just looks like, depending on the age of your child, like I said, when you are growing up, you know the level of your child. Just thinking about, say, this sex education, for example, right?
Yes.
For a woman, we have this African mentality that there are certain things you say or that we look at it as being awkward, you know. But those things are actually very important that we talk to our children about it so that they know. It's just called self-awareness. For instance, I think there was a video I saw about someone talking about what we say to our kids and what it means to them.
It needs.
And she made mention of telling your child what he or she should not bring back home and stuff like that.
Yes.
And they don't talk about the consequences, they just talk about being responsible or values. I think the best thing is talking about values. When you teach your children about values of life, do you understand? You teach them the
Yes.
right things to do. There might not really necessarily be, a need to talk about those consequences, but you throw them in, right? Just like you
Yeah.
said, some children might be like, okay, this thing my mother is always talking about, don't bring this one, don't be, let me even try it. Some children are that inquisitive, they are that curious.
Yes.
Most children are, like that. But when
Yeah.
you teach your child values, which those values of life, and when your child sees you living those things or living the way you or whatever you are teaching him or her, it makes it very much easier. It makes it extremely easier to raise responsible kids in this world. So I think the best thing is to teach your child values of life.
Since our network has went bad,
I can hear you loud and
oh,
clear. Can you still hear me?
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yes. I didn't get everything you said. Can you kindly repeat what you said?
Okay, I was talking about values, teaching our children the values of life, right? So
Yes,
that it's better we inculcate those values of life
value.
in them. Yeah, rather than it's not also bad to teach consequences of certain actions. Just like I gave an instance of a skit I watched online about a brother asking a sister for help, or a sister asking a brother for help rather, and he said just because he saw the parents, what they did, and he was not able to. So when the parents came to them and they tried to talk to them, right, and they told
Yeah,
them that this is your younger sister, right? If you don't help, if people see that you don't help your sister and all that, it will make her think that she's alone and thereby make her maybe ask questions from the wrong person or something like that. So, but values is always the best thing to teach your kids, right? When you teach them values, they won't do things that will bring those consequences to them.
all right. So what are these values we are talking about?
Values of life,
Yes, what are they?
the best way to live life or to live a responsible life: respect, being
Okay.
loyal, loving God. There are so many ways. The way you respect people, the way you love people, and most especially loving your neighbor as yourself.
Do you think in our society today, parents still teach these values?
I think they do. I think they do because I really don't like generalizing things, right? Even though
Okay.
some people feel that the parents of this age, the Gen Z parents, as they call it, that they have, some people say that they have failed and they don't have values in them, but there are some of them that are still parents or alive today that teach their children values, that have values themselves and teach values. So I still think that parents do teach values even today, even though there are a whole lot of factors and a whole lot of things now in the society that is making that a little bit difficult. Apart from social media and every other thing, most parents tend to be busy. The society has become so will I say
So
poor.
messed
In
up
some
or corrupt.
societies have become so poor or built in such a way that you know some people in some parts of the world will need to work and work and work to be able to you know acquire the kind of life they want, and you see them working so hard. And some parents do that at the expense of their own kids. And again, you also have the insatiable quest of man, right? When a man has
Yeah.
1 million, he wants to have 5 million. When he has 5 million, he has to, he wants to have 10 million and stuff like that. So, but then there is nothing bad in all these things, but you still, the main thing is you need to have a balance. You need to strike a balance. Know that
Yeah.
your responsibility this some of these parents do this out of love, right? They want
Yeah.
to acquire this whole thing just still for those kids. They're still doing it for those kids, which is a very noble thing to do for a parent to look out for their kids, for the future
Yeah.
of their kids. But you
Yeah.
also understand that that is not all that child needs to be a responsible child. You can acquire all those wealth and keep them for that child. If you don't teach that child values, financial education is one of the values. The child will grow up, see that money that you've kept for him, spend it in 1 month or lavish it in 1 month. Everything that you worked for the past 20, 30 years goes down the drain in 1 month, right?
Yeah.
Because you were making that money for that child, but you did not teach that child financial education.
Value.
You did not impact the values of finance to that child. How to invest, how to spend, how to save, and stuff like that, right? So that is
Yes.
why values is always more than any other thing. So as a parent, as a father, as a mother, as you work, the more you work, try to strike a balance between your work and your child. That work is your responsibility, right? Yes, you need to do it to be able to provide for the family. Your child also responsibility is even more of your responsibility than
All right. Are you there?
yeah.
Okay. We can't really hear you clearly. It's your voice is a bit low.
Can you hear me very well now?
Not too clear, but better.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. There is no doubt that parents are putting a lot of effort in making sure they raise um good children, making sure they raise responsible children. But in the long run, you find out that these children are doing opposite of what they are being taught. What do you think is the cause of this? Could it be social media influence, which we know it is one of them? What other thing do you think is the cause of this very problem?
I cannot deny the fact that parents cannot also be with their children all the time, right? For
Yeah,
instance, if your children start school in the morning, you go to work and they go to school, right? So in school
sure.
they meet their friends, they meet people out there, right? And then
Yes.
when they get to the age of using a phone, they you know get a phone, probably get online and meet some other people online, right? There are
Yes.
certain things you can't control that they do, especially when you are not with them, when they are outside. That's why
Okay.
I keep talking about values. When you have inculcated that value in them, they know what is right and what is not right, right?
Yeah.
So another thing is why I still say any of these things still boils down to the parents is this. Children can go outside there and get peer pressure and try to deviate from what you have taught them. But I feel the children that have more tendency of doing that thing are children that you talk to about those things. You talk to them about financial prudence. You talk to them about honesty, and they see you being dishonest. You talk to them about respect, and they see you disrespecting their father. You've not inculcated that knowledge in them. You've not put that knowledge in them. And again, there's something most parents don't do. There are things we don't do. We most times try to train children with discipline and not with love. Like you said, those things that you do outside when you go outside, when you teach them values, if they've learnt it, it has become part of them. Out there, they will act based on what you've taught them. But if one thing or another happens and they learn something probably they are not supposed to learn out there, the kind of relationship you have with them at home will make them come and tell you. So it's always very okay that you have a relationship with your child, a relationship that will make that your child to come back and tell you something that any other child ordinarily will not tell their parents. That friendly relationship is just like when you have a best friend, somebody you will call your G. There is nothing that person will not tell. Even when the person does something very bad. I have a friend like that. No matter what I do, he knows. Good, bad. Right? He's someone that if you ask the person, if you tell the person that Chidera did this, the person will tell you that he did not do it. If you ask him, tell him that I did this, if it is the one I did, whether good or bad, he will tell you that. He might not tell you that I did it if it's bad. Then he will come and tell me, guy, now you do this thing. Do you understand? So,
Yeah.
because he knows I did it and look for it anywhere I did it, right? So that is, I think that is the relationship. That's how we can be able to solve that particular problem, because definitely the outside world will influence our kids as they are growing up, right? So, but then if you have that kind of relationship with your child, and you can only do that out of love or with love rather. So if you have that kind of relationship with your child, then you must have or you might have solved up to 50-60% of that
The problem.
the problem of influence, the outside influence of your child. Because if something like that happens, for instance, somebody is telling your child to smoke, or trying to force your child to tell lies to pass the exam or something
Things.
like that, then when your child comes back, how are during the conversation, let's be intentional. Let's be in our child's life. How was school? What happened? What are the names of your friends? Your child will tell, oh, I have a new friend. Her name is this. His name is this. Your child will be free with you, right? To talk to
Yeah.
you. And in that way, you get to know who your child talks to in school, how your child behaves in school, and then anyone that is behaving, anytime she behaves in a way that is not responsible, you'll be able to know and then
No.
cancel her, right? So, yeah.
Okay. I know you said something about parents balancing their work and family. Can you throw more light on that? Because we have lots of career-oriented parents, and the truth is, these parents really, really, really need to work for them to be able to provide for the family. The children, of course, will not starve. They will go to school, they will eat, they will pay house rent, they will buy them clothes, they will take care of their health. All these things needs money. So can you throw more light on how parents should balance their career with their family? Because I think that
Um,
is where we are having some of these problems. Parents tend to focus more on trying to get money, provide for the children.
well, getting money, it's nice. Who no like better thing? Everybody likes money, right? It's,
Okay.
it's an amazing thing to have money, right? It's a
Yeah.
good feeling for you as a parent to be able to provide whatever your child needs. It's an amazing feeling, I think, right?
Yes.
So, but the thing is, everything in life is about planning.
Okay.
It's not there are two parents, or let's say there is a mother, there are two people that make up parents, a father and a mother, right?
Yeah.
And then there are also scale of preference, right? There are needs, there are wants.
Yeah.
That is where that financial education comes in. Like I always
Okay.
say, as a parent, those values you need to display them first. You need to have them to be able to put them in your children, right? Even though sometimes emergencies happen, things happen and emergencies happen and stuff like that. That is where planning comes in. You can plan and something else will come up. Yes, we know it does happen. So to answer your question, I think you need to plan. Do you understand? It's all about planning. Most people do, especially in some other parts of the world. Some parts of the world, most people do only 9 to 4, 9 to 5, while in some other places, people do more. There are some countries whereby people will have 2 to 3 jobs,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, there are some places where people can be doing 2 to 3 jobs. From here they go to this place, from here they go to this place. As a single person, you can do that. There's no issue. But then, if you are married and you are doing that type of job, your husband is doing that kind of job, how do you be in your child's life? How do you take care of a child? So your child will
You
be taken
become a
care of at
married single
9 months.
mother.
I saw a clip that happened in UK. I saw a clip where a father and a husband and a wife. So as
Yeah.
the wife was returning from work, the wife was
Oh,
going. So they will meet at the bus stop. The husband will give, because they have a very small baby that is still in a walker.
I
The
think
baby,
I
they will
saw that.
just they will transfer the baby. The husband will give the mother, the wife, the worker, and they will transfer. But
Yeah.
at least in that particular case, somebody is tending to the child, right? The
Yeah.
husband works night and the wife works morning, so somebody is attending. But in a situation whereby both of them leaves at night, comes back in the morning, or leaves the same time, or comes back, like walking around the clock, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes a problem. So you and your wife or you and your husband, the parents need to sit down and say, okay, we are a family. This is what we need. This is the expenditure that we need in every month. And this is the kind of job we are doing. This is what we are making. This is what enters the home at the end of the month. Okay. And this is the time that we work. This is the time that our children go to school. This is the time they come back. There are a whole lot of things that you need to put into planning. Okay. Look at what we need to do to achieve this. And again, there are also money that you need to put aside for maybe kind of you want to have a vacation with your child and with your family. Those are
Okay.
fun things that everybody will yearn for, right? So I
Yeah.
think that balancing depends on the level of your family, the level of your income, and what you plan to achieve, right? But I believe with planning, parents can actually strike a balance between their career, between their work. Very good planning. Strike a career between their work and career, and as in taking care of their children. It's just planning,
All right.
proper planning.
Let me ask this simple question. In
Go
a
ahead.
situation whereby the husband is providing for the family, is
Yep.
catering for the family, like he's capable financially, and ask the wife to stop working, do you think it's something that is acceptable? Maybe
Um,
just stop work for the meantime. Your job is just to take care of these children, make sure they are okay, be in their life. What do you think about that? Do you think it's something that should be acceptable in our society today, considering how difficult things are right now?
well, I think it depends on the parents involved. But the thing is this: parents can have their career and still be in the lives of their children. And mind you, what makes of what what parenthood is what makes parents, I'm trying to look for the word to use. What makes parents is a mother and a father. There is a role of a father in the life of a child, and there is role of a mother in the life of a child.
Okay.
These are different roles, different roles, right? So
Yeah.
trying to work yourself out or be out of the life of your child just for your wife to sit at home and take care of the child, it's not the solution. Really, it's not the solution. You are training the child. I saw another clip somewhere online as well, like
Yeah.
still a mother and a father. Whenever the children take their assignments to their father, whenever they want to ask their father anything, the father is, I'm busy, I'm doing this,
We
I'm
always
busy. They
direct
go,
them to the mother.
yes, they go to their
Yeah.
mother. I'm busy. So when they grew, everybody grew, the children grew old and started making money. They were always buying things, telling their mother they were too close to their mother. When they want to do something, they tell their mother, and the father became upset. Even when they want to buy something for the father, they give the mother to give the father and stuff like that. Oh, Obinna called you, Obinna did not call me. I'm the father. I paid their school fees. I gave them this. Like, yeah, those things are
Yes,
good. You worked and
yes.
gave them those things. But there were times they were struggling in school. They needed their father to console them, to comfort them, to tell them that everything will be fine.
Okay.
I'm not saying women or their mother were not doing that, but women are more emotional, right? Your,
Yeah.
your child can be crying, the mother will follow the child and be crying. So who will tell each other sorry? You know, as
Yeah.
you're crying and you go to your mother begin cry too. So who go console? Do you
We
understand that kind
console
of thing?
each other.
Yeah, but then fathers, some it's not. I'm not saying that fathers are not also emotional, but at least they tend to, you know, um, as leaders, they tend to know how to lead. Like what I mean by that is try to hide their emotions to ensure that they comfort, the people that needed comforting at that particular time. What I mean by that is, so your child needed such things. Your child needed your presence as a father. Sometimes they go to school and some of their mates will be talking to them about, oh, my father did this for me, my father did that. And they will think and they will start thinking, when was the last time my father did this for me? Is my own father different? These are things and this affects the psychology of children, right? So
Yes.
saying that you go do the whole work and be out of the life of your child and your wife stays at home and takes care of the child, well, I don't think that is the solution. I think you guys should plan and strike a balance between career and work so that both of you will be in the life of the child, so that the responsibility of a mother in the life of a child will be there and the responsibility of a father in the life of the child will also be there. It does not take one responsibility, or as in the responsibility of a mother only, to raise a kind of maybe child you are talking about, a whole child, a whole responsible child, right? Because
Yeah.
some of those responsibilities of the father, the mother might not actually play it as the father would have if he was there, right? So
Yeah.
I don't think, unless it's based on maybe health issues or due to some fathers who have a whole lot of money and out of love for their wife, they say, okay, don't work. I make enough to take care of the home. Stay at home, right? But
Yeah.
let it not be an avenue for you now not to be in the life of the children. Just because the mother is there, you now just be work, 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 and you don't know
Mm.
what is happening in the child of in the life of your child. And again, life eventualities happen as well. That's what I'm talking about planning. What if something happens and you lose your job, or even if it's business? Nobody prays for
Your
that, right?
business
But
crash.
it happens. There is a shortcoming, or there is a problem in your business, or a problem in your work. So what happens to the family? And it takes you time to get a new one, right? And your wife is not
Mm.
working. So even from the onset, God designed a woman as a helpmate, right?
Mm.
Helpmate in ramification, in making money, in taking care of the kids. So why not allow her help you, right? So
All right. Thank you so much. You answered well. I think we are coming to the end of this session. And before we end, what advice do you have for parents? What do you have to tell parents about this topic that we talked about today? What advice do you have for parents who no longer believe that this society will get better, or who no longer believe that we cannot raise responsible children tomorrow, that we cannot raise children with good values tomorrow? What advice do you have for such people?
well, I think for you to have that kind of mindset, that is losing hope for me. And for you to have that kind of mindset that the society has made it impossible for us to raise a responsible child, I think that is the problem, because for you to have that mindset, it means you don't believe in raising a responsible child. Because as a parent, you have children, right?
Yeah.
So, which means you have lost hope of raising your own kids to be responsible. And that is, to my candid opinion, I think once any parent that has such responsibility has already started failing or is telling us that he or she. So it starts with you that is thinking that the society has made it impossible to raise responsible kids. Do you understand? For
Yes.
instance, if you get this video and you're the one thinking that way, you have heard the video, you have listened to the opinions of the speakers or myself, and you now know what to do, right? You now know how to raise your kids. So it's now left for you to do it and take off that mindset that responsible children cannot be raised. There are responsible children. There are still children that are born that have grown up responsible, right?
Yeah.
So don't think that way. Start it. Don't think that the society has made it impossible or no parent is raising responsible kids. You know how all their using all these children that we are seeing, that are not responsible. Then make a change, make a difference. If you feel that the society, make a difference in the society. Show the society that responsible kids can actually be raised in this society by first being responsible, right?
That's
So
great.
whatever you teach your child, be a model to your child. That is just it. If you're responsible, honestly speaking, you teach your child and your child will be responsible. It's just that simple.
All right. Thank you so much. You have actually done justice to this because a lot of people have actually lost hope that this generation, that the next generation will be nothing to write home about. But you have just clarified us today that it is very much possible for parents to still raise responsible children in this society. Thank you so much for making our time to be with us. We really appreciate, and we hope to see you by this time next week. Hope you'll be available for us.
By the social grace of God.
All right. Thank you so much. And those that also joined our live that contributed, I really appreciate that. Vivian Benson, I really appreciate your presence here. Saint Innocent, I appreciate your presence. Franklin Chukwuka Robinson, thank you so much for making our time to join us. Favor Anna Yochukwu Ogozie, thank you so much for making our time. And my dear friend Precious, I really appreciate, although you came a bit late, um, try to come on time next week, Sunday. Thank you so much, guys, for making this live session um, a lively one. I really enjoyed it. Yes, I did. I really enjoyed it. And I hope you also enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. See you next week, Sunday.